Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for making your way down here as quickly as you have. It has been many, many months since the entire college community has been gathered in this space, so a big welcome back to every year level from Year 5 all the way through to Year 12. It's great to have you all back in the hall, even if the seating is a little tight. We may have forgotten just how large we really are when we come together as one. In a continuing commitment to reconciliation in Australia, Nudgee College acknowledges the Turrbal people of Mianjin, First Nations peoples and part of the oldest living continuing culture in the world. They are the traditional custodians of these lands and waterways, which they call Numji and Nada, and we call Nudgee. We acknowledge their ancient customs and the law of the land. We pay our respects and acknowledge all ancestors, elders and communities across this continent and its neighbouring islands. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great assembly scheduled for you today. Many times we've gathered in this hall and we've seen students presented with their gold, silver and bronze academic awards, and today we pay acknowledgement to those 5 Year 12 boys who are our Platinum Academic Award winners. What that means will be explained at the presentation. We also have a number of presentations to many of our arts and performing arts students due to the many activities that they have undertaken throughout this term. There'll be a guest band and a reveal of the college musical for 2023, which will be really exciting. Our senior captains will present to us the next stage in their evolving senior symbol and explain to us the message that the symbols communicate. And at the end of assembly, before our 3 cheers, we're going to have a little opportunity to have a sing together as well, which will be really exciting. Today is Giving Day at Nudgee College. It's a mammoth undertaking to reach out to members of the college community across Queensland, Australia and the world and ask for their support for the Jack Ross Bursary. The Jack Ross Bursary funds places at this college. The students who are the recipients of the Jack Ross Bursary bring enormous vitality and life to this place, and without the fund, without the trust that underpins that, they wouldn't be able to be here. So it is important that we continue to support the Jack Ross Bursary, and today is going to be a big day of festivity and donations and charity in order to keep that great work going within this college. So to join with that today, we have a prayer of giving to start, and that will be led by our college Vice Captain, Andrew Tora.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Abundant God, you made us in your image and breathed in us a spirit of generosity that is both gift and response. Move us, we pray, to give as we have received, abundantly, generously, and joyfully, that our common life may always bear witness to your unfailing grace. In the name of the three in whom we are one. Amen. Blessed Edmund Rice, live Jesus in our hearts. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Good morning, Mr. Fulliger, family and friends who've joined us today, staff and Nudgee men. A fitting day to have all of us together in the Christian Brothers Conference Centre as we celebrate our Sustained Academic Achievement Awards, or Platinum Awards as we know them. The criteria for these awards is a gold academic achievement standard each semester from at least Year 9 all the way through to Year 12. And the 5 boys that will present to you today have gone a lot further back than that in order or achieved gold all the way back to Year 5 or Year 7 when they started in just about every case. So these awards are part of our end of year celebration at our awards night in November, but I thought it was very important for you as a community of boys to see these students get up on stage. They model the way for you. I want you to understand what this award means, see who's achieving it, and challenge yourself to be up here next semester to get a gold, silver or bronze academic award. So let's celebrate what's great about education at Nudgee today. Firstly, I'll give you some perspective. And there's a couple of famous people on the next slide that you might see. So it's hard enough to win a gold medal, to be at the top, but to keep doing it, to find that motivation to work hard as you change and you grow, is an extra special achievement. The gymnast you see is from Russia. Her name is Larissa Latnina. She was in 3 Olympics some time ago in the 1950s and 60s. But why is she significant? She's won the most Olympic medals of any woman in Olympic history. 18 of them. 9 golds, 5 silver, 4 bronze. And she won them across different events, on the floor, on different gymnastics apparatus, in individual events and team events. She was versatile. She achieved across disciplines, much like our boys here today who've achieved across subjects across many years. To an Australian music example, the bloke in the picture had a mullet the first time that they were trendy. He sold his music on strange vinyl discs called records. His name's John Farnham. He's a very famous singer. You may not know him, but your parents certainly will. Ask them about Johnny Farnham when you get home. But he was someone who has also had sustained level of effort and success. Across 5 decades, from the 1960s to 2000s, he had #1 records in Australia. He had #1 singles in the 60s, 70s and 80s. He had #1 albums in the 80s, 90s and 2000s. So consider your Spotify playlist. Who are you listening to now? He'll still be recording #1s that you'll be downloading in 2050 when you're my age. That's some sustained achievement. My point, similar to the young men we're about to present, those people had that something, that drive to go above and beyond, to stay at the top and to be the best they could be, to improve and to keep on improving. So when these boys were in year 5 or year 7 and got their first academic medal, they didn't stop. They hadn't arrived. Instead, they started a habit, and that's our habits of mind that you see behind us. So yes, we've got criteria about getting an A or getting a gold medal, but in the long run, the real core of what you're trying to achieve is expertise in those habits of mind. So these young men have adapted. They've used self-agency, they've taken personal responsibility, and they've used those habits of mind in different ways at different times, always moving them towards a habit of success and achievement. So the A and the gold medal might have been a checkpoint each semester, but it wasn't a finish line for them. Ultimately, they leave not with a bunch of gold medals, like a gymnast or a #1 hit singer, and not a medal from valedictory. But they leave with a comprehensive set of tools in their habits of mind that they're expert at using, and they'll continue to use those far beyond Nudgee College. I'd like to invite Mr. Fulliger to the stage, please. And it's my pleasure to present our 5 Platinum Award winners. Lachlan Barrett, Elliot Brown, Thomas Malone, Harry Rawati, and Andrew Tora. Boys, please give it up for these fantastic students. Well done.
Well done, gentlemen. Good morning, Mr. Fulliger, CLT, staff, parents and Nudgee College men, all back together. Today the arts prefects are going to take over and give you an update on what's been going on in the space, as well as congratulating a heap of students who have been achieving great things. Before that, though, I just need to let you know of the hugely significant results of the Chess Boys on Friday night. Despite one of their brothers being unavailable due to illness, the boys managed a win against Terrace, their first win in over 2 years. Can we please give the lads a round of applause? And of course, we wish them well in their match against IGS on Thursday. Now over to Tom.
On Friday 19th and Saturday the 20th of August, we celebrated our annual Dimensions Art Festival back in Teeny Auditorium here at Nudgee. After a couple different formats over the years and a year's break, it was great to see the festival back in full swing. This year, the 2-day festival was a student-focused event with student art and music performances, as well as workshops and art for sale by artist-in-residence, Mrs. Gannis. This year, the festival coincided with Grandparents' Day. This year, this was on a Saturday afternoon, with many Nudgee families bringing their grandparents down for scones and a glass of bubbles. Families enjoyed entertainment from our musicians and artists on a glorious spring day. There were also opportunities to participate in art workshops held by Nudgee art staff and Mrs. Gannis. Over the 2 days, it was a fantastic opportunity for the Nudgee community to take in the creative talents of the art students and proved to be a very successful event. This year, the student artwork was judged by Mr. Fulliger, Mrs. Hutchinson, and Mr. Jack Fullard. Winners in first place will receive a gift voucher, and second and third will receive an art pack by Eckersley Art Supplies. Please welcome subject co-coordinator for visual art, Mrs. Ellis, as well as Mr. Fulliger to the stage to present the winners. From year 5, first, second, and third, we have Benji Garden, Mitch Haplin, and Josh Formosa. For year 6, first, second, and third, just stop there, boys. Oh, good, I'll slow down. From year 6, first, second, and third, we have Archie Dean, Finn Oliver, and Darcy Bruce. Please congratulate these students. From year 7, first, second, and third, we have Jaden Jalella, Callum Erasmus, and Liam Hughes. Year 8, first, second, and third, we have Talis Maloney, Samuel Percy, and absent today, we have Matteo Bianchi. Year 9, first, second, and third, we have Ben Sakaka, Mark Hilly, and Isaac Albert. Please congratulate these students. And then finally for our seniors, year 10, first, second, and third, we have Kygam Liam, Jackson Zhao, and Marcus Moroney. And for our year 11s, first, second, and third, we have Tom Donnelly, Michael Kritzinger, and Xavier McLaughlin. And then finally, for our year 12s, we have Tom Sands, Kenshin Sato, and Kieran Pye. Please congratulate these winners.
Way back in the beginning of the term, a group of our strongest debaters without our Year 12s headed to TSS for 2 days to participate in a Model United Nations conference. Jacob Gillen was one of them and would like to tell you a bit more about it.
Good morning, Mr. Fulliger, CLT, staff, and my fellow Nudgee brothers. A new experience for all the boys, the TSS Model United Nations presented a different challenge surrounding issues on international relations. Over the course of the 2 days, on the 17th and 18th of July, more than 110 students from 9 schools across southeast Queensland participated in the conference. Each student acted as a delegate for an assigned country to write and debate clauses to achieve the best possible outcome for their country, but more importantly, the global community. The boys worked together to gather support from other delegates, negotiate concessions, and amend the resolutions to ensure their country's interests were represented on the complex issues of security in the Asia-Pacific region and nuclear energy. The general aim was to create practical solutions to the issues associated with them, and ultimately, we were successful, as both resolutions achieved 2/3 majority vote, which was required to pass. A highlight of the conference was the ability to collaborate with students from other schools. Each student represented a country rather than their school, so the conference was a unique opportunity to cooperate and compete against interests and perspectives from a diverse range of countries instead of schools that would share similar ideals. Participating in the conference allowed us to hone our debating skills, specifically practicing removing our own personal biases and thoughts on a topic from your own arguments will prove invaluable, especially when you have to argue a side of a topic that you do not agree with. More broadly, international relations and geopolitics is a common theme in debating, from Senior A topics about AUKUS to Year 8 debates about whether Australia should become a republic. The conference provided an opportunity to grow our knowledge. On behalf of all the Nudgee participants, we would like to thank Ms. Kafaji and Ms. Daunt for organising our involvement in this competition. We would also like to thank Ian Trin and Isaac Rawadi, who guided us and prepared us for the conference, as well as being there on the day. Thank you.
Please congratulate the following Year 11 students on receiving awards at the event. Anthony Minio, Honourable Mention. Jacob Gillen, Best Diplomacy for Asia Pacific Security. And Oliver Keel for Outstanding Delegate, Top Prize. Please congratulate our boys. Today we want to acknowledge the continual efforts of the boys involved in the annual theatre sports competition run by Sit Down Comedy Club Band, the energy it takes to perform in the style of improvisation. A big thank you to all the old boys, Dylan Eastland, Morgan Chippendale and Jamie Dickman, who used their expertise to coach some of our teams, along with Mr. John Hodder and Miss Alison Kilgore. Firstly, our junior team. This was the first competition for the boys, and it was great to see them get to the semi-finals as part of the junior competition. They overcame their nerves and performed with confidence. Congratulations on your big achievement. Please welcome Theatre Sports Co-Coordinator Miss Kilgore and Mr. Fulger to present these awards. Maximilian Huard, Ethan Rule, and Oliver Soberon. Please congratulate our junior team. Finally, our Senior A team. This was the first year this team has competed in the senior competition. In 2021, they made it to the junior grand final. This year, they got to the semi-finals, which is a wonderful achievement. They performed with continual confidence and were up against teams with Year 12s. Congratulations on your achievement. your senior A team is Samuel Brown, Daniel Cross, Robbie Fitzgerald, Tyler Goodall, and Hunter Ireland. Let's congratulate all the teams on their achievements in the theatre sports competition.
Term 3 has been the busiest term for music in recent years, with our music ensembles competing in the Logan and Redlands of Stedfords, participating in the Queensland Catholic College's Music Festival, and performing in Dimensions. Some of the highlights from our junior ensembles include first place to Guitar Ensemble, treble makers and Allegro strings at the Redlands of Stedford, as well as the junior drumline at Logan of Stedford, and at QCMF, a silver award to treble makers and bronze to Allegro strings. Among the achievements of our intermediate ensembles were first place to Guitar Ensemble at the Redlands of Stedford and silver awards to the same guitar ensemble as well as chamber strings at QCMF. Our senior ensembles have also achieved great things, notably first place awards awarded to NC Brotherhood and Drumline, gold to Brotherhood at QCMF, and Symphonic Winds also collected a silver award. While we are working towards a team model in NC Music, there are also some outstanding individual achievements that we need to recognise today. So please welcome our coordinator of performance music, Mr. Smith, as he joins Mr. Fulliger on stage. In recent music exams, Jed Barron received merit for his grade 5 bass guitar exam. Daniel Rostron got a distinction for his grade 6 work also on bass guitar. Frank Gilbert got a credit for his level 1 piano playing. And at QCMF, Hunter Ireland was singled out of the Brotherhood Ensemble to receive a rare award of distinction. And in July, we had several musicians involved in the State Honours Ensemble program. So congratulations to Antoni Harbeck on violin, Caden Burton Demers on tenor sax, Sam Duffy on double bass, Ben Sands, who was singing, Zane Dewan on classical guitar, who was unfortunately absent, Archer Jenkins on classical guitar, who was also absent, and Eddie Power, also on classical guitar. So please congratulate all award recipients. Before we leave today, we have one more task.
2023 is a musical year at Nudgee College, which means we need you to come and sing, dance, act, play, and work behind the scenes.
So, without further ado, the musical for 2023 is, can we get a drum line, and can we get a drum roll, please? Drum roll. Footloose.
So hard, I'm punching my card. 8 hours for what? Oh, tell me what I got. I got this feeling that time's gone holding me down. I hit the ceiling, or else I'll tear up this town. Tonight I gotta cut loose, my foot loose, kick off Sunday shoes. Please, Marie, shake it for me. Whoa. Everybody cut foot loose. You're playing so cool, obeying every rule. But dig way down in your heart, you're yearning, burning for somebody to tell you that life ain't passing you by. Somebody's gonna tell you, if you don't even try. Tonight I gotta cut loose, foot loose, kick off the Sunday shoes. Please, Marie, shake it for me. Whoa, Milo, come on, let's go. Use your blues. Everybody cut foot loose. Cut foot loose. Cut foot loose. Cut foot loose.
First,
You got to turn it around.
Second.
And take your feet off the ground. Third. Now take a hold of your soul. I'm turning loose, a foot loose. Kick off the Sunday shoes. Please, Marie, shake it for me. Whoa, Milo, come on, let's go. Use your blues. Everybody cut foot loose. Kick off the Sunday shoes. Please, Marie, shake it for me. Whoa, Milo, come on, let's go. Use your blues. Everybody cut foot loose. Everybody cut, everybody cut. Everybody cut, everybody cut. Everybody cut foot loose.
I have to say that's a very, very hard act to follow. Thank you, Mr. Smith, and the staff band rocking it out for Footloose. Bring back Kevin Bacon. Google Kevin Bacon, boys. It'd be interesting what you'd come up with. So let's put our hands together again, staff band. What great fun. And like Mr. Maher, I'd like to echo his thoughts as we started Assembly today, how good it is to have everybody here today. We still have some parents and others online. Great, we've had some parents who've stayed with us during Assembly. Good morning, gentlemen. Let's just sit up, boys, please, now. It's been a terrific Assembly, and I thank Mr. Sepetospiki for his words around those Platinum Award winners. Last week we recognised that Principals Award, which anyone can get. Very, very difficult to achieve that Platinum Award, and that's why it's so special to be able to acknowledge those 5 boys for their achievements. Congratulations, boys. That sustained excellence is something that we can all aspire to. And to be good at school every day, boys, requires something around being sustained in our excellence as well. So today I do want to talk about excellence and humility. 2 things that possibly don't always go together. We claim pretty clearly the values about what we talk about here at Nudgee: faith and community and justice, courage and authenticity. In fact, I think the Year 12 leaders are highlighting authenticity today. We perhaps don't give enough coverage to excellence at school because sometimes we feel it excludes us, excludes others. But it's fair to say a school like us should always aspire for excellence in everything we do and aspire to do it every day as well. So what do we mean when we talk about excellence at Nudgee? Well, in our strategic plan, it's defined in this way. It's expressed through our aspirations and actions. It's what we aspire to, but what we also do. To be the best that you can be. Every one of us can do that. Only 5 boys can get a Platinum Award. I would never get a Platinum Award, boys. They are far brighter than I will ever have been. I could never have got a Platinum Award. And some of you might sit there, well, I can't get a platinum award, and that's fine. That's why it meant to be a pinnacle. But every one of us can aspire to be the best that we can be in our own endeavours and then collectively as a school, in our class groups, where we gather in groups, ensembles or bands, teams, and wherever we gather as young men. We enjoy and celebrate our success. We should acknowledge those boys today, as we did, those boys in performing arts who've had success. And we try to model that success every time on assembly with the presentations we do. Not to sort of build ourselves up with a false sense of how good we are, but just to acknowledge boys who are being the best that they can be. Occasionally, boys, I get dismayed when I hear a boy tell me that he was presented on assembly and then some fool then has a crack at him later in the day to bring him down. A small-minded person. A tall poppy syndrome is something we could describe that as. So it would dismay me to think that boys here can't acknowledge the success of the others in the full array of what this school is about, in everything that we do. But we also acknowledge success with humility, and those words are highlighted. And we place effort and commitment into areas where we have the potential to develop and improve. So to be excellent and humble don't always go together. Sometimes boys get caught up with their success and start to think, get a bit puffed up at that chest and start to think, how good am I? In the sense of how good or how better am I than others? Yes, you can be excellent, but that doesn't mean you have to consider yourself better than anyone else. That excellence can go together with humility. And when it does, it's a powerful thing. When those two things come together, it is powerful and has an impact on others. So yes, we can be successful in academics. We can be successful in performing arts. We can be successful on a rugby field, a basketball court, wherever it may be. But that success should always blend with humility in how we respond. It's not easy to do because sometimes when we are successful, our ego, particularly in young men, our ego gets in the way. Our ego tells us, gee, I'm good, I'm better, we're better, my team's better, my school's better. And that might be the case, but we walk with that in humble ways. We show that with great dignity and respect for others who we compete with, be that in the classroom, in music, or in bands, or in football fields, or whatever it may be. So what's a good example? Who's a good example? Mr. Sepatos used a couple of examples today. My example would be a young lady who models excellence and humility. I think we all know Emma McEwen, an Olympic and Commonwealth champion. And her words say a lot, and she was quoted recently after she won all those medals at the Commonwealth Games, and you can see some of them there displayed. And what an absolute champion. So how did she respond and I'm going to read the quote as it comes up. The good results are everything I've worked for, and so they're important to me, just like those academic results. Just like that football result, that basketball team, the tennis result, the musical performance, wherever we are, we should always be striving to be the best that we can be because it is important. It was important to her. But she goes on, and this is the wisdom of a beautiful spirit, a beautiful soul, a beautiful person. But it doesn't make me who I am. So we don't like Andrew Tora because he got a platinum award. We like him because he's just that sort of guy. He's hard not to like. As are the other four boys who are in that same group as well. Don't want to highlight the others. They're all good guys as well. Or it doesn't make me a happier person. If our happiness was reliant on our success and getting a medal or getting an award, whatever it may be, well, we're never going to be totally satisfied, are we? Or does it make me a better human? It goes on. And you can read the last part of that sentence. The things that she achieved, those medals, she hopes is not what people will remember her about. What does she want people to remember? And she goes on. It's who you are as a person and the impact you might have on other people, the way you do things, the way you handle yourself in victory and defeat, and the way you handle yourself in difficult situations that are thrown at you. And she has difficult situations around her as well and in life, because that's the experience of life, the experience of living. Success and difficult times, success and failure. And she goes on, being humble has always been one of my main values. It's one of ours, boys. It's not written up on the star, but embedded in all that we say here is that humility. Because in our context, your success, her success, doesn't come from us alone. She's not an Olympic champion because she did it all on her own. She has a coach, she has family, she has teammates, other people have supported her. These 5 young men have had families support them, teachers work with them, mates encourage them, mates have worked together. In a team situation, we don't score a try because of one person. It's the team effort, as it is in so many aspects of life. So any success we get, boys, yes, we can be proud of that because we aspire to be good. But we don't get all pumped up full of ego about that success, because our success comes from others, your parents, your classmates, your teammates. So if you're good at something, that's great. Aspire to be that. But be a good guy, be a good person. That's equally as important. And in our context in a Catholic school, let's go back to really base things. That any success any success you have in life, where does it ultimately come from? As a faith-based school, our success always is grounded in the gifts and graces of God, is ultimately where that comes from, because you've been graced with a good family, you've been graced with a good school. That's where it ultimately comes from. And Jesus always had a word for those who may be getting full of themselves as well. The first will be last and the last shall be first. He was very inclusive of people, as we know, Jesus, but he didn't have a lot of tolerance for people who thought they were pretty important, or people who thought they were better than others. His inclusion was inclusive of everyone. So let's keep that in mind, boys. And I close then, or almost close, with a simple story. In fact, I think it's called A Good Bloke Factory. If you bring up that slide. A Good Bloke Factory. Where would you find that? It was interesting last year, boys, a parent, actually can't remember who told me this, but it stayed with me for a long time. And I haven't shared it on it because I haven't shared it often, but I have of late. Someone from outside of Nudgee, who wasn't one of our parents, looking at the school, he said to me, mate, you're in charge of a good bloke factory. I said, what do you mean? He said, Nudgee produces good blokes. Nudgee has always produced good blokes. So I was pretty proud of that, and I'd be proud to say that I'm in charge of a school of good blokes. Now, we can get into what's the definition of good blokes, and you can think about that. I think you'd know what that phrase means. It's very Australian in its own in its derivation, a good bloke. Whether we're getting platinum awards, whether we're playing in a band, whatever we're doing, can you be a good bloke? And I'll share you a simple story, an email that was sent to me by a Year 8 boy the other day. A really simple thing about a good bloke who did a good thing. A simple thing. And some of you might walk out and go, oh, that's a bit of a naff story. Well, if you do, that's your problem, not mine. So, gentleman says, my name is Billy Bloggs. I'm in Year 8. I just wanted to email you on a good note and let you know that Jack Smith in your house, this was sent to a house dean and CC to me, that Billy Jones, or whatever his name was, in your house did a wonderful thing for an old lady at Chermside a few weeks ago. I was sitting down eating my lunch, and with my family I saw Jack Smith walk up to an old lady sitting by herself and started talking to her. I heard him ask, how was she? And he talked with her for about 20 to 25 minutes about her life, her past, her present. He made her day. She walked off with a huge smile on her face. I thought I'd let you know this as it was a really kind thing for him to do, and because he went out of a way to do something for others. So boys, to the young man who sent the quote, that's a good bloke, sent the email, that's a good bloke thing to do. To the young man, and he knows who he is, who did that small act of kindness to an old lady, he's a good bloke as well. So if we can be anything today, let's all try to be good blokes today. 1,700 good blokes at one school. What an awesome day today will be. It is Giving Day, so let's enjoy that as best we can. I'm looking forward to a few good blokes line up and try to knock me into the dunking pool. Good luck if you can do that. I hope you pay a lot of money to do that. And I'll be taking your names and watching your enrolment, and anyone who hits the target, look out. No, that'll be good fun, boys. It will be terrific. And finally, to the Year 12s, mock exams coming up, boys. Good luck with that as well. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Fulliger, members of the CLT, staff, parents both present and viewing online, and of course, my Nudgee brothers with us today. It's easy to hide behind a wall of insecurities. It's easy to follow the cultural norms and blend into what society believes is the right way to act as an individual. Boys, it's easy to be led to believe that what you enjoy and that what you believe in is different and irrelevant. We're all embarking on our own journeys, embodied in our 2022 college motto, to own your journey is to do what you believe is right, and at all times, continue to be true and authentic to your personal identity. Put simply, authenticity means all of this, that you are true to your own personality, values and spirit, regardless of the pressure that you're under to act otherwise. It means that you are not only responsible for your own mistakes, but you do what you can to make sure that those mistakes aren't made again. Authenticity can be related back to the origins of our Nudgee history. Each cohort leaving a mark on this place, and each person involved in this journey we are on, leaving something authentic to themselves. Our Nudgee history over its 131-year duration has collected some of these marks and have developed them into the culture and identity we have today. Whether it be the Nudgee song, the war cry, or the traditional blue and white butcher stripe uniforms we wear 6 days of the week, each mark authentic to our Nudgee history. Whether your journey is just beginning or, like many of us here today, coming to a close, your individuality and authentic personality makes a lasting impression on the ever-growing history of this place. The Nudgee symbol placed behind me is something we have referred to throughout the year, giving us the opportunity to talk about concepts that each and every one of us relate to throughout our journey as Nudgee men. Those being courage, community, justice, and now I'd like to take the time to introduce to you all the newest edition of authenticity, a prominent theme in all of our lives, whether you know it or not. Decorated in depth by our art prefects, the symbol, or what many have referred to as the Nudgee shield, now has the inclusions of masks, which recognise that all of us can often hide behind our masks in an attempt to hide our insecurities. A cross, which symbolises the faith journey we are all on and connects us back to our Catholic origins. A paw, which relates closer to our Nudgee identity and the way we as individuals form that in our own authentic way. Similar to that of a fingerprint, the paw is a statement of our uniqueness and our embodiment of spirit we to this day recognise as our own Nudgee spirit. Each of these symbols recognise the factors of authenticity that play a part in our Nudgee journey. As a Nudgee man looking back on my schooling journey, and a lesson I wish I learnt years ago, although it may seem easier to just fit into a crowd, it isn't until you truly let yourself be yourself that you find the mates that you need and the mates that you'll keep for a lifetime. We hide behind a mask more often than we realise, hiding away from our true potential, all from the fear that people may not like who we really are. A saying I once heard was to get comfortable in being vulnerable. And in this theme of authenticity, it relates to the fact that being ourselves and not sheltered from a mask may sometimes make us feel vulnerable to the outside world. To be authentic is to be true to yourself and true to who you are as a person. We all experience challenges in our life, challenges that are best overcome by sticking to your guns and being who you are. In a world that is open to being anything or anyone, your best bet is to be yourself. Make a mark on this time you have by being authentic to who you are, and I guarantee it will not only benefit your own well-being, but also make a lasting impression on those around you. I'll leave you with a quote from Steve Jobs. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Thank you.
Good morning, Nudgy men, staff, Mr. Fulliger, and everyone else online joining us today. Before I get started, could I please ask the prefects for Riley and Duggan houses to come to the stage? Last week we saw the much anticipated final of the inter-house debating season. To quote Mrs. Daunt, absolute gold class standard of debating throughout the competition, with most debates having 1 point difference between. To the final though, a half-full teeny auditorium awaited our combatants. Team Duggan, led by the all-conquering Viking worshipper Mr. Sador, alongside Xavier Corrie, Charlie Bell and Lucas Black, up against Team Riley, led by the cunning and wily Mrs. Hale, alongside Ollie Bryans, Sejin Lee and Oscar Rawadi. To the winner, not only bragging rights, but the sense of fulfilment and joy in leading their house to victory. Add to this a beautiful piece of silverware. To the loser, well, the same as the other 7 houses. The final itself was an arm wrestle. The affirmative side, which was Duggan, kicked off by suggesting that the arts GPS competitions incorporating debating, music and chess should include our sister schools from the QG-SSSA. After much robust conversation and discussion between our 3 adjudicators, the result coming down to only a half point between the 2 houses. If I could ask Mr. Fulliger to pop up to the stage, please. I know he's excited about this. And I'll wait. And can I congratulate Duggan House on being the 2022 Inter-House Debating winners.
Good morning, everyone. Gents, as you're well aware, today is Giving Day, and as a faith community, we come together to celebrate something extremely special to us, the Jack Ross Bursary. This bursary exemplifies the Edmund Rice story of providing quality Catholic education for boys whose families may not be able to afford the full fee. As you know, our goal's $200,000, and I can proudly say that we're up to over 80,000 already at about 9:30. So a great start to our tally, and we hope that continues. If we reach that goal of 200,000, that will enable 2 students to share an opportunity that you have had. A wonderful gift. Gents, we need the generous donations of old boys. We need the generous donations of past parents and current parents. But there's also an opportunity for you. An opportunity for you to give a little back. So I'm asking you to please consider donating some of your hard-earned pocket money or pay. If you need more information, please visit our website, givingday.nudgy.com. Just a couple of murmurs there, boys, if we could sit up. So as has been mentioned, there's a great carnival atmosphere for you at lunchtime. So our junior school boys will join us during period 4 and our senior school will be during lunch. You have lots of opportunities to dunk teachers in the ice cold water. There'll be pass the ball competitions, there's a sausage sizzle and much, much more. A shout out to Mr. Fulliger. He's been up and down all assembly today. And we hope that that theme continues during lunch as you plunge him into the water. Boys, his fee is $50. So I'm seeing 10 of you chip in $5 to do your best. If you are in year 11 and 12, you can pre-purchase tickets. This is how quickly these are going to sell out. You can pre-purchase your tickets at morning tea. So please get down to the Dunk Tank ticket desk on Wilkes Oval at morning tea. All right, gents, a week ahead. Thank you, Mr. Carmen. If you could put that slide up for me. The House Assemblies for Thursday. Note that Tierney and Shaw, you'll be in the chapel for your house mass. And I'm sure you'll be looking forward to our pupil-free day on Friday. All right, thank you. Gents, on Thursday and Saturday we see our final round of GPS competitions. So good luck to all our chess players, basketballers and rugby players over those two occasions. Can I also strongly encourage people to, if you play, you stay, and that you are getting out to support our first teams. In particular, our chess and basketball will be at the Ipswich Grammar School, and the rugby will be out at Brussels Sports Fields. Can I just note that our rugby team an extremely important game for them. As you would know, that they're well in the fight for a premiership, so they will be looking forward to your support. And I just echo Mr. Fulliger's words around excellence and humility. And our support should always model the same values that those boys are demonstrating on the field, so we look forward to that. Finally, I would like to wish our Year 12s all the best. For those that aren't aware, they will start their mock exams on Thursday. Okay, normal classes for boys up until then, so make sure we stick to that routine. And a final note is for those that are driving, if you drive to school, you will continue to park in the Flats car park. Gents, that's really important. The Christian Brothers Conference Centre car park behind us is out of bounds, and so is the grassed areas around that. Okay, we need to keep that vacant for our Mary Rice Learning Centre there, so please make sure that we continue to park in the Flats car park. All right, to finish off, I'm going to ask our arts prefects to come back and to lead us in Stand By Me. So everyone standing up, please. And let's belt this one out.
Listen up. Only one time through, so let's make this one good, yeah? Alright, sweet.
All right. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Please take a seat. And I'd now like to call Senior Zane Kremer to come forward to do our 3 cheers.
Nudgy! 3 cheers to Platinum Award winners, 3 cheers to the Music Performance, the Arts Awards, 3 cheers, shout out to the Chess Boys, 3 cheers to Musical and Art Awards, 3 cheers to the Staff Performance. Be yourself, don't pretend to be someone you're not. Inter-house debating winners and Doug, congratulations. 3 cheers to Giving Day. Let's keep being good players. In go in? Yeah. In go in? Yeah. In go in? Yeah.
Well done, Zane. Thank you. All right, I'd now like to ask our parents, you can make your way out first, please. Thank you for being with us. Gents, if you're on the Mary Rice Centre side, you may leave out those doors now. Thank you. Year 10 men, we're stacking chairs in 10s as usual.